stories that also made headlines tonight.
Well, all eyes will be on the Supreme Court Thursday as the 7-judge bench led by Chief Justice Martha Koome issue judgment on the appeal case on the Building Bridges initiative.
Constitutional lawyers and law scholars say the judgment will shake up the country's political landscape. Ben Chumba with details of that story.
The fate of the Building Bridges Initiative BBI rests on the shoulders of the 7 judges of the Apex Court.
The other scenario, which we hope is unlikely, is to sustain the decision of the Court of Appeal, and that's to say that this Court of Appeal was right.
The other scenario would be that they will allow the appeal, meaning that they will overturn the findings of the Court of Appeal.
On Thursday, the judges will put to an end a 2-year legal battle between the promoters and opponents of the BBI.
I think I would expect that we do not have a unanimous judgment. And even if they do, then we will have some variance in terms of how they fashion the determination.
But progressive Kenyans and progressive lawyers expect that the Supreme Court will say Kenyans should have a chance to debate and amend their constitution.
The burden to determine whether a president can initiate amendments to the constitution through a popular initiative and whether the president can be sued in his personal capacity for anything done or not done while in office shall also lie on the shoulders of the judges.
We had good arguments. We had evidence to show that indeed Mwananchi was not involved. So that is my personal take, that I hope the judges saw what BBI was for real.
It has been painful. And I know I'm not the only one. I know so many other people who have suffered through this because of the way Kenya has been run since independence. And our commitment in BBI was and still is that we must build a Kenya around justice.
The judges will also rule on whether the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission was properly constituted with 3 commissioners when it processed the BBI bill and forwarded it to county assemblies. With just months before the August 9 polls, constitutional lawyers and law scholars argue that the court's decision is likely to shake up the country's political landscape and could even sway the outcome of the forthcoming general elections.
I think as a country we have moved on from the BBI's amendment of the constitution. So if they uphold the Court of Appeal's judgment, I do not think there is any political impact. But should they choose to overturn, then definitely that will have an impact in the political projection going to the 2022 August general election.
It is a reality that all political forces recognize that the Kenya has a problem. Then the progressives say, if we have a problem, some of the problems are so fundamental that it cannot be just about administrative or political reform. Some must go to constitutional and legal reform. You mentioned law.
Both the High Court and Court of Appeal ruled the BBI was unconstitutional, for it failed to follow the sequential steps needed to trigger a constitutional amendment through a popular initiative. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.